Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be showing my branded Despia deck profile. This is going to be pretty similar to a lot of the profiles you've been seeing from the last weekend of YCSs. You know, I'm going to try to go through and talk about my card choices a little bit, hopefully provide some perspective for those newer to the deck. And I do have one spicy tech that I'm playing, you know, I think is really solid and I don't see why not play it. And this is going to be a full, you know, unlimited budget profile. And then in the next week, I am working on a profile video for budget players. Does not include Blazing Cartesia or Bestial Lubellion. So if that's what you're interested in, I think you should watch this video to see what a full budget deck can do, and then subscribe so you can catch the budget version coming up. I played this deck the last two locals and I got top in both. So yeah, hopefully this gives you similar success. If you enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe, comment, the usual. Let's go ahead. All right, so I'll be showing you the main, extra, and side deck. So far it's been doing fantastically and I'm very happy with how the deck is built. So let's go ahead and jump in to the list and I'll try to talk through some of the choices. 3 Aliber, 1 Tragedy, 1 Adlib. That's the standard Despia package that we're playing. Pretty much you want to see branded fusion, and Tragedy gets you to Aliber. Adlib is good for branded in red. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm playing 2 Fallen of Albaz. Now, I'm on the fence between 2 and 3, but so far, there has not been a situation where I'm like, damn, I wish I had a 3rd Albaz in my deck. And until that happens, I'm just not going to play the 3rd one. The biggest benefit to the 3rd one is if your branded fusion gets ashed, Cartesia plus an Albaz in hand can just play through it. So it's more likely to have an Albaz in hand, but that extra benefit I don't think is worth the card spot. And then playing 1 copy of Cartesia, you know, it's fantastic. I don't have a second one, and I don't think I would play a second one if I did right now anyways. Albion the Shrouded, I'm playing 2 Mercurier. I kind of like 2 Mercurier, honestly. I search it off of Brigand pretty often, and I like having 1 for the Rinbrum line plus 1 to search off of Brigand. It's kind of nice, but you know, if there's a card that's getting cut in the main, it's going to be the second Mercurier. I am on the 1 kit, 1 Dark Magician for Dragoon, 1 Lubellion, and 1 Saronir. Yeah, I think this is a fairly standard branded lineup. So this is the engine of monsters, and then the non-engine monsters I'm playing are hand traps. For the most part, 3 Ash and 3 Nib. I'm between maining Nib or maining Evenly and having 1 in the side. So right now Evenly is in my side deck, but for my locals, Nib is pretty good. A lot of people are playing stuff into Nib, so I think Nib is pretty fine. Fusion material for Grand Guignol, fusion material for Guardian Chimera as well if it's dead. So I like having, I'd rather have a dead monster in hand than a dead spell or trap. Okay, and then this is the 1 tech that I'm playing that I think is fantastic, and I don't know why it's not seen in more branded lists. It's 2 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. So Fenrir does multiple things. First, it's an interruption if your branded fusion gets ashed. So you just go summon Fenrir, search the other one, and then branded fusion. And if you get ashed, at least you have an interruption right there without worrying about what the rest of your hand is. Second is if your branded fusion goes through, it's discard fodder for Lubellion. So a lot of times you want to keep your hand, but if you search a second Fenrir before going into Lubellion the Searing Dragon, you can just discard the second Fenrir since you're never going to summon that anyway, and it keeps your hand advantage up. So I think it's an excellent engine. I don't see why not. It doesn't conflict with anything. I looked into it. There's not really any fusion material or fusion monsters that you can make because of your running Fenrir. It's whatever for the fusion part, but it's just like nice backup interruption and discard material, and I think it's excellent. And I'm definitely going to continue playing Fenrir. I don't see why not. So that's the monster lineup. Let's go on to the spells and traps now. I'm playing 3 branded fusion, 3 branded opening, and then 1 lost, 1 red, 1 white. I think these are fine. I really like branded in white. I know a lot of people do not and think it's a brick, but I think it's just excellent follow-up. I used it to summon Sprin the Iron Dash Dragon at locals last week to try to pop an interruption. I used it as discard material for Albaz effect and then added it back in the end phase, which make sure you know the secret effect of branded in white. It comes up, so I don't regret playing that. And then the two branded traps I'm on are Retribution and Banishment right now. So I don't currently have a Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, and even if I did, I don't know if I would prefer it over Banishment. So Banishment plays through Nib super well. If they nib you, you just bring back your Mirror Jade next turn, and then, you know, you can also fuse. But it's mostly, it just brings back Mirror Jade or brings back Dragoon, which is awesome. It outs a lot of random crap that's hard to get through for branded, like Scareclaw Tryhard, which is really nice. So I just played it for that kind of utility. There's a couple Scareclaw players at my tournaments, so I wanted Banishment just in case for that. So this is the branded spell trap lineup, and then onto the non-branded cards. I'm playing 3 Fusion Deployment. I think is the best side engine you can play in this deck. Just going into Cartesia really helps you play through interruptions so well, and then Deployment into Albaz going second is also really good. And then I'm playing 1 Gold Sark, 1 Called By, and then my 40th card was 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent. I didn't know what 40th card I wanted. I didn't really want Foolish Burial. I thought Talent was good, and it performed well for me. So yeah, that's the 40 card main deck. All right, the extra deck is going to be pretty standard. I'm on 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Albion, 2 Lubellion, 1 Rinbrum, and 1 Grand Guignol. So this is like your main package for Albaz. And yeah, I don't think I would change anything. Rinbrum almost never comes up. I rarely go into the Rinbrum line, but it's still good. I like to have the option. I'm playing 1 Brigand and 1 Sprint. I do like both of these for Sens. Sprint you need for combos if you go into Rinbrum line, but don't open the Bestial Lubellion or don't open extra pieces. You can go Sprint into Kit, add Branded in red, and then Branded in red into Albion and Mirror Jade. So that's kind of nice. So I like having that option. Plus, if anyone's randomly playing Contact C, this is nice. And then Brigand I like to dump and search Mercurier just for an extra interruption in hand, just an extra layer. I'm on 1 Dragostapelia, 1 Quertus, 1 Dragoon, 1 Chimera, and then 1 Garura. So I'm on Garura for the branded banishment. It comes up sometimes. I can also just dump it off Grand Guignol for a draw. If I was playing a bigger tournament, I would cut Garura for a 2nd Dragoon for Kashtira, but there's very little Kashtira at my tournaments, so I think the Garura is good. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this extra deck. Like I said, the most cuttable thing is certainly Garura, and it would be for a 2nd Dragoon. All right, now onto my side deck. So I'm siding 2 copies of Magnemite plus 1 Saronir. Just for the branded matchup, like mirror match, I think having Bestials is really nice. I might just play 3 Magnemite, to be honest, instead of the 2nd Saronir, but yeah, this is good for branded, for Mathmech, for just random lighter dark decks that are always out there. I'm playing 3 Radiant Kaiju in the side for Neteria Beast, for just random like the Scareclaw Tryhard or Ignister or anything like that. Kaiju is just kind of good this format. So, or for Kashtira, of course, but yeah, I want to have them in the side deck at least. And then the other 2 copies of Talents are in my side, and then the rest is all back row hate. I'm on 1 Duster, 3 Cyclone, 3 evenly matched. So this is just for the back row deck for Runic or Labyrinth or any of that kind of stuff. And I also kind of preemptively side Cosmic into a lot of matchups because I know a lot of people are on anti-spell. Yeah, it's just good to side in some quick play spells to out random floodgates that you think might be sided in against you. Also for like Grave of the Super Ancient Organism, so like against Sprites, I'll side in my Cosmics for that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just pretty solid. Yeah, so that's the main extra inside. And you know, going forward, I'm going to be testing the Keeper of Dragon Magic, but I don't think it's good enough to main deck, honestly, over just a standard branded build. But yeah, I also want to cover some cards that I'm not playing. So I'm not playing Expulsion right now. I don't know. I don't see enough value in it, well, especially without Gimmick Puppet. If I had Gimmick Puppet, I would side this and Gimmick. But without that, I don't think it's worth playing. I'm not on any bigger Bestial package because they're just not very good against a lot of matchups this format. I thought about Denko Sekka, but I need my normal summon for Alibur a lot of the times. Super Poly is kind of cool, but there's just not enough matchups where it really hits, especially if people are going Arise Pass. Super Poly is kind of dead there. But It's okay, but the discard cost gets expensive because a lot of your cards have discard costs. Not on Proskenion, I like Quertus better. Second Tragedy, don't need. Not on the branded Beast or Regain, the Bestial branded cards, because I'm on a small Bestial package. Allures, I don't want to play extra Tragedies, and like I don't have a big enough engine of dark cards that I want to be banishing, so I'm not playing any Allures. I already talked about Bestials. Extra deck, Albulanatis. If Dragon Link gets real popular at my locals, I'll play this, but other than that, this card is kind of low quality. The second Dragoon I have if I wanted to play it, but right now I don't think I need to. Mud Dragon I kind of like just for the branded banishment, for the super poly type effect. So I would like to find a place for this if I'm playing banishment in the main, but there's just not enough room. Masquerade, not in this build. I think in other builds it's good, but yeah, you could consider siding this for time. Yeah, Enemy Controller I considered, but it's just, I don't see enough like Ibli or Dark Angel or whatever kind of stuff I need to tribute like that. So yeah, it's just not good right now. And then Book of Eclipse, I don't know. It's okay, but I think the rest of the deck kind of covers your matchups well enough where you don't really need Book, and I haven't needed it. To be honest, I can break those boards with this build instead of with Book of Eclipse, and I'd rather have the Fenrirs, the Kashtira Fenrirs in my deck over the books, just because of all the reasons I talked about earlier. It's just better for a card advantage. So yeah, those are the cards I did not play that I have accessible but chose not to. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. This is my branded deck profile. The only spice again is Kashtira Fenrir. I think is excellent in the deck. Don't see why not play it. So yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out my branded basics videos. If you're learning the deck, hopefully they're helpful to you. They were definitely helpful to me when trying to learn the deck. You know, teaching others, it really helps me learn really well. So that's why I made them, but hopefully they're also valuable to you guys. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of this list in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see a list for budget players. And that again is a list without Bestial Lubellion and without Blazing Cartesia. I think the deck needs to take a different approach if you're not playing these cards, because these cards really formulate the board that you can make with this build, but without them you need to build a different type of board. So I have a deck profile for that coming. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see it, and with that we'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll see you later.